Dear friends, the subject matter of today's talk is who is the author of Vedas? Are Vedas authored by God or by some seer, rishi, or some human being? Generally, the Vedic tradition of India says that Vedas are the authorship of Vedas can be assigned to God only, none else. No human being can become the author of the Vedas. So the tradition says Vedas are apaurushaya. Veda hi apaurushaya. Purush means human being. Apaurushaya, that which does not belong to a human being. So the how, as per Indian tradition, how the Vedas are apaurushaya, how the Vedas are not authored by human being, but they are authored by the God himself. This is the question. In Indian tradition, there are three subjects which are most important. Number one is the Veda. Number second is the Yajna. Generally, the people call it as a sacrifice, but Yajna, it is not a sacrifice. It cannot be translated in any language of the world. These are the technical terms used in the Vedic tradition, Indian tradition, so they have no corresponding terms in other languages. So I will use these technical terms as it is, rather translating them into English. So first one is the Veda, second one is the Yajna, and third one is Itihas and Purana. These are three traditions in India. So Veda is the knowledge of creation. Veda is not some religious book. It is a knowledge of creation. It pertains to the knowledge of creation. Yajna means the process of creation. The process of creation. And that process of creation has been represented by various Shruti yagas. I'm not going to delve into this subject in detail because it will be taken up later. And the third one is Itihas and Purana. Itihas and Purana, they deal with the history of creation. They deal with the history of creation. While defining Purana, the scholar says, Sargascha Pratisargascha Vansho Manvantarani cha Vanshanucharitam chaiva Purana Pancha Lakshanam, means creation, decreation, time reckoning system, and the lineage. These are the 4-5 subjects of the Puranas. Vansh, what is this Vansha Parampara? Means the Vansha Parampara of the heavenly bodies, just like in our solar system, the planets, they originated from sun. So our sun has its Vansh Parampara, a lineage, this constellatory lineage, and Vanshanucharitam, and lineage after lineage. the main lineage, then the sub-lineage. Just like the moon is the satellite of earth, so that comes in the category of Vanshanu Charitam. Similarly, these are the five main subjects of the Puranas. Initially, Puranas and Itihas, they never dealt with the human history. But later on, the chronology of human history, it was also included into the four corners of the Puranas and Itihasas. So earlier, only the history of creation, it was the subject matter. That is why generally it is said, while teaching Veda, Itihasa Purana Bhyam Vedam Samupabranghait. That is, with the help of Itihas and Purana, the Vedas can be explained. Means, because the Vedas, they are the knowledge of creation, so the knowledge of creation can be explained or elucidated with the help of the history of creation. You can quote some examples. This is the meaning behind these statements. So, Itihas and Purana. Second one, the Yajna, the process of creation, how at different phases, at different levels, the creation occurred. So that is also one of the subject that is related to the Vedas. So that in this Vedic tradition, these are the three subjects mainly dealt with in ancient times. And why the Veda is the creation of knowledge? Why I'm saying so? You may ask a question. What is the evidence behind it? There are evidence. Bhagavad Gita, the Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita himself says or tells Arjuna the subject matter of the Veda. He says, Triguna Vishayo Vedaha Naistraigunna Bhavarjun. When Arjun was in a state of dilemma, Krishna teaches him and tells him that the Trigunatmaka Srishti, this creation formed of three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. The creation formed of three types of gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. This is the subject matter of the Vedas. Triguna Vishayo Vedaha. And he says, if you want to come out of this dilemma of life and death and all these things, then you will have to rise above this creation, this mundane creation. You will have to merge yourself or connect yourself to the Brahman instead of this visible world. So, even Bhagavad Gita tells the subject matter of the Vedas, the creation. Creation evolved from three gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. So this is how this whole tradition can be summed up within these three words, Veda, Yajna and Itihas and Purana. So the whole creation, the whole system of creation. Now the question arises. It is okay that Veda is the knowledge of creation, Yajna is the process of creation, but how the Vedas are authored by God? Why the tradition says so? Since God is only the author of this creation, none else, not even a biggest scientist, high profile scientist, he can create this universe. Nobody can create this universe. Since this universe is the creation of God and Veda is the knowledge of this creation, so the Veda, the knowledge of creation, only the God's copyright is there on the knowledge of creation. Because God is the author of creation, so God is the author of Veda. Nobody can author it. Only an author or a person who creates something, he has the copyright of its knowledge. That is why the entire Vedic tradition, the tradition of seers, they never said that the Vedas were written by them. I will give just a practical example. Suppose an engineer is going to make some machine, or when he tries to make a machine, the whole blueprint of the machine comes to his mind. And according to that blueprint, means that blueprint is the knowledge of that machine. That is, that knowledge of that machine is in the mind of the engineer. And according to that knowledge, the engineer is going to give a practical shape. He is going to materialize that machine practically. And the machine is created, or it comes on the ground. Whenever the machine is created, the knowledge of the machine that was in the mind of the creator or that engineer, it becomes present in the universe. Similarly, when the God created the universe, the knowledge of creation, knowledge of the universe instantly became present in the universe. And the seers, the rishis or the maharshis, who were born in the beginning of creation on this universe, they were the first teachers of humanity. They imbibed that whole knowledge into their samadhi. When they sat in samadhi, with the help of the Ritambhara Prajna, because Maharshi Patanjali says in his Yoga Shastra, Yoga Darshan, when a seer or a seeker goes into Nirvikalpa Samadhi, goes into Nirvikalpa Samadhi, after some time, Ritambhara Prajna dwells in him. What is this Ritambhara Prajna? Prajna means intelligence. Rit means the whole knowledge of the creation, the rules of the creation, the rules according to which this creation was formed. That is Rita. And Ritambhara Prajna means the intellectual power or the intelligence containing all the rules of the creation in it. So the Ritambhara Prajna, the seers or the maharshis or rishis who have developed this Ritambhara Prajna with the help of yogic samadhi, they will get the entire knowledge of the universe into their mind. The whole knowledge of the universe will come to their mind. And this is how the Vedas are known as the revelations. Revelations means just to get the whole knowledge, imbibe the whole knowledge from the cosmos itself. So this Veda is the direct knowledge. It was gained directly in Samadhi by the seers. There is no third mediator or means is there. Today, when a scientist, he tries to repeat the cosmic things into the lab, so that is the third means. But a seer, he receives it directly from the cosmos. So that is why it is said that Vedas are the books of God. Vedas were authored by God because the creator of the creation or the universe, he can only be the author of his creation and not anybody else. So the authorship of his creation can be assigned to him, assigned to the creator or to the Brahman or to God himself. That is why we say that the Indian tradition says, the Vedic tradition says that Vedas are authored by God, none else. This is the main point which must be noted. And from another point of view, there is another view, how the Vedas are the creation of God. Practically also, the Vedas, they do not deal with, or they do not mention the name of even a single nation, the name of any religion, the name of any country, society. The Vedas talks about animism, humanism. They talks about universe. The Vedic mantra says, Bhumi Mata Putro Aham Prithivyaha. The whole earth is my mother, and I am the son of Mother Earth. So these subject matters, these things also show that Vedas are not the creation of a human being. Because a human being, if some human being would have written the Vedas, he would not have talked about the whole globe or the earth. Yatra Vishwam Bhavatyeka Needam, where the whole world, universe becomes one nest. Nobody can talk it. A human being can't talk it. If some book is written by a human being, either he will talk about himself or his family. If he goes beyond it, then he will talk about his society, his nation. He can't talk about the whole universe. So that way also, Vedas, this knowledge of creation, Veda means knowledge. This knowledge of creation belongs to the God. Its authorship, its copyrighted, is with the God and none else. So whosoever a Vedic scholar, if he was able to imbibe some knowledge, he says, he never said that this is my knowledge, this is my book. The whole Indian tradition, it starts from the Veda and ends with the last Acharya, the last preceptor. Just like Kanada, Patanjali, Sankhya Kapil, they are the last teachers, preceptors in the tradition that evolved from the Veda. They are not the first one. So here we talk about a tradition that starts with the origin of the Vedas. So I hope all of you must have liked this talk, and through these lectures, it will be a series of talk. Through this series of talk, I would like to explain different aspects of the Vedic philosophy, Vedic culture, and Vedic dharma. We will take small subjects one by one and explain it to our readers so that they may understand the whole Vedic system, whole Vedic philosophy, Vedic culture in right earnest. Thank you.